Good evening. You're welcome to Ben TV. It's another Thursday, and we're happy to be here. But it's not like we're happy for the last year, the last years, 1 year that we've had in Nigeria. It's a sober mood that we're in. Last week we spoke about Boko Haram, and we were talking about how they killed quite a number of people in Borno State. And Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan went on a media chat, and he was talking about how hopeful we should be about Nigeria. As he was speaking on national TV to selected media men and women, Boko Haram went into Yobe State, slaughtered 45 and more students, we're told. Just the same time President Jonathan was busy telling us about how we're winning the war against Boko Haram. These guys went into a school, slaughtering 45 students at the federal government college in Yobe State. Well, do you think that is enough? Yesterday, the president was on here again telling us, don't worry, Borno State is in the fringes of Nigeria. We've chased them away from Abuja. So long Boko Haram is not attacking Abuja, Nigeria is safe. So we shouldn't need to panic about Boko Haram. Then, what did they do again? They went into Adamawa State just this morning, and Boko Haram killed more people, set ablaze 120 homes. And I just don't know what else we can say. Today, before I came on this show, if you all watched NTA, President Jonathan and quite a number of clowns, in my words, that call themselves Nigerian leaders, are busy dancing and celebrating 100 years of Nigerian independence. I mean, they're playing music, they are catching fun, and we have millions of Nigerians still in bondage in the northern part of Nigeria. I mean, what else can we say to these people that would make them open their heart to the voice of the people? Anyway, the good thing about this story is that Nigerian civil societies are coming together. They're going to start a campaign in Lagos on Saturday, Spaces for Change in Nigeria. They're marching on the street, calling on our leaders to do something about the crisis in northern Nigeria. And we want to just say well done to Victoria Bezim and all the young Nigerians doing that. And then on Twitter, we've had the hashtag Borno Massacre. Nigerians are beginning to see what we've been saying all this while about why we need to come together and say no to the crisis in the north. But today we're also, as we're discussing Boko Haram, guess what? $20 billion is still missing from the national coffers. Now, to put it in perspective for those of you who fly home to Nigeria, you know how horrible Muritala Mohammed Airport is. We've got 20 billion naira missing, but it cost the UK government 5.4 billion pounds to build Heathrow Terminal 5. If $20 billion dollars is missing in Nigeria, that means we would have 3 or 4 Terminal 5, Heathrow Terminal 5s in one in Lagos, one in Port Harcourt, one in Kano, out of the missing fund. And you all need to go home. You just don't need to face the stress of going through the coffin called Muritala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. Anyway, today's topic is Lamido Sanusi, Goodluck Jonathan, and Nigeria's missing funds. We're in black today because we're mourning hundreds and thousands of Nigerians killed by the terrorist group Boko Haram. Let me invite Ngozi. Ngozi, what do you have for us today?
Yes, Kaide, like you rightly said, we are wearing black in mourning for the dead people that have been victim of Boko Haram so far. And actually, the news that I have to give, you've taken the words out of my mouth. It just seems like there's been, following our social media, just been a lot of outrage regarding the massacre of including Boko Haram in the northern part of Nigeria. And of course, like I said, we're going to be talking about the missing $20 billion today. However, the mood, especially with social media and comments that people have left, is that, I don't know if most people know, but Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is the finance minister, she made a call that she wanted forensic audit on the accounts of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. And following this revelation, the the Conference of Nigeria Political Parties have now asked her to resign because apparently she's playing Pontius Pilate. I mean, really, it just sometimes it seems like it's a private, personal game that they're playing. Everybody comes together and says and point fingers. And because Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has now said that she would like for a forensic, objective audit to be carried out, these political parties are now saying that they think she's insulting them because she said that her stand on the 20 billion has been, known from the word go. And so I think they've taken a personal view of this, making it like a personal challenge to them, and now they're asking her to resign. And having said that, Lamido Sanusi himself has gone to court to try and get the courts to reinstate him, and also to give an injunction to stop the President and the Inspector General of Police from stopping him carrying out his duty as the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. However, it's been turned down. But the mood on social media, following everything we've been talking about, that Kaida has said so far, is that really should the President be talking about, and anybody else, in fact, talking about the money that's missing? Yes, however, they think that not a thing has been done about the massacre so far in the northern part of Nigeria involving the, Boko Haram. And they're saying that by now, the President should have come out with a concrete thing, saying that this is what he's going to do about the massacre that's been going on. And still now there's nothing. However, everybody's happy on about the 20 billion, which we should do, but to what end? And that is the question on the ground. This evening, stay tuned with us because we're going to have, Kaida, we're having our political analyst, in-house analyst, Jesse, and he's going to be talking about what, as a matter of fact, it was very interesting, we were discussing it earlier, 20 billion could do for you. It's amazing. So I'm not going to say any longer. I mean, it is very sad, and we're still getting information as we go along. I'm passing you on to Kaida now, and I'm going to see you next week. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, Ngozi. You know, I've just given you one example of what $20 billion is going to do for you as a Nigerian citizen in diaspora. You would get, Terminal 5, 4 Terminal 5s in 4 different locations in Nigeria. And when Jesse comes in, you actually see what 20 billion is going to do for us as a people. We've got a clip for you. In this clip, you're going to hear from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who at first was telling us, no money is missing, everything is all right, we've got nothing to worry about, Nigeria is making progress, as an Harvard Minister of Finance, she knows what she's doing. And she said to us, Lamido Sanusi was just talking rubbish. She has admitted that not 20 billion, $10 billion is missing from the national coffers. I would think that in the UK, if 10 billion pounds is missing from the treasury, we would have someone tendering their resignation today. But not Nigeria. Okonjo-Iweala, we're going to play you a clip of Okonjo-Iweala telling Al Jazeera that yes, 10 billion is missing, we're going to look into it. And then we'll show you the clip of Okonjo-Iweala dancing to chop my money, which is Nigeria glorifying, corruption is now a culture in our country that music, we talk about chop my money, Yahooze, we glorify even 419. And you have the Minister of Finance dancing to chop my money at a period when $20 billion cannot be accounted for. Should we, if the clip is ready, my producer, Tony, is going to let you have the clip now. Then when we come back, we'll have Jesse Adeniji. Please don't go away.
Dollar accounted for. I think that we ought to do that under the auspices of the Auditor General, as he said, but with the help of independent forensic auditors, so that people will have confidence that when this material comes out, when the work is done, it's really done on an objective basis and will lay the grounds for the truth and for action. We really need expert forensic auditors to go through these claims, go through these accounts, and determine exactly which numbers are correct. And then we set about trying to recover this within the economy. I actually think it's urgent that we do this, and that, we build up the truth and trust so we can move forward on this.
And the music has to be good.
countries. If my interests would have instigated crisis, that day the signs would have shown. But if everybody thinks that he will go and fuel crisis, we'll take him on.
What do you stand for?
What I stand for?
What do you stand for? Your policies? Your policies?
We want to lead a country where people will be less greedy, where people will know that the commonwealth of Nigeria belongs to all Nigerians, where people will know that your individual wealth depends on the wealth of people around you. If you alone become the rich person and everybody around you is poor, you are very poor. I want to live in a country where we will no longer live as prisoners. Why do we have excesses of criminal activities now? Because the thinking is that the wealth is not uniformly distributed. A lot of young graduates have no jobs and they have no hopes, and they take to arms and ammunition or some kind of antisocial living. We want to refocus Nigeria to make sure that basic infrastructure is provided, the environment is created for private investment, both within and direct foreign investment, so that jobs will be created. That is my dream for Nigeria.
So you're saying you represent?
Yes.
You represent what?
Yes, that is my focus.
You represent what? Future change. What are you saying?
Yes,
you represent?
I represent the group that we are saying that this country must be transformed.
Okay, that was President Goodluck Jonathan. What do you stand for? What do you stand for? Apparently, the president has got no idea, you know, what his principles are as per the vision he's got for the country. And then you've got our dear Auntie Ngozi there dancing to chop my money, and it just puts into context the situation of we find ourselves in that blessed country called Nigeria. I've got Jesse Adeniji, our in-house analyst, in the studio. Jesse, you're welcome to Politics with KO.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be back with you.
Yeah, Jesse, I just wanted to go straight. Tell us what $20 billion can do.
Okay, it's to give some perspective, you know, to 20 billion US dollars.
Yeah.
Everybody, you may have heard about the Hoover Dam in America.
Okay.
When it was constructed in the 50s or so,
yeah,
it was constructed for $49 million.
Okay.
So if you make room for inflation,
okay,
it will still be for $828 million today.
Okay.
So it's less than $1 billion actually.
Wow.
The Hoover Dam. And
so,
you know what Hoover Dam does? That they're able to produce electricity for like 3 states in America, you know, through that.
So we still have change.
No, you have 19 billion left.
You have 19 billion.
Billion
you
left.
Get a dam.
And
then we still have some change of 19 billion.
Yeah, and you'll be producing electricity
for
the people.
Go ahead.
The world's most expensive rail project, which it will be completed this year in Kuala Lumpur. It's called the Rapid Transit 1, MRT Line 1, Klang Valley. It is coming in at a bill of $11.7 billion.
11.7?
It's the world.
So it's not even up to 20 billion.
It's 11.
So we would have had a fast train from Lagos to Kano.
Yeah, it would have, from, let's say, Maiduguri to Enugu.
To Enugu.
It would have been doing you
with 11.
Less than 4 hours.
Less than 4 hours.
Yeah,
with 11, and we'll still have change.
Okay,
what else can we get?
You have the world's most expensive airport. It's called the Cheklapkok Airport in Hong Kong.
Okay.
The cost came in exactly at $20 billion.
So with $20 billion,
it's a futuristic.
With our missing $20 billion, you put an international.
You get a futuristic
airport, international airport. And we will see it with our own very eyes.
Yes.
But what we're not seeing now is that 20 billion naira is missing.
We're talking about an airport that can undo tons and tons of cargo. And turnaround time is less than an hour.
So we're going to have an airport that is going to bring more money to
and that's going to drive the economy of, say, Lagos. You'll be able to get things out and in of the economy.
Well, Jesse, if I ask you this.
I've not finished.
Okay, go ahead. I want more.
The world's most expensive bridge is the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge.
Okay.
And it came in at $6.3 billion.
So 6.3, okay, let's say 7 billion.
No, 6.3.
6.3
billion.
Let's even say $7 billion. How much change will we get from 20 billion?
What this would give you is, it will give you the second bridge, longest bridge in Nigeria. We've got a third mainland bridge.
We have had,
we got a fourth mainland
bridge.
Okay,
so with 7 billion, we would have had the Onitsha bridge, the Niger, the most important bridge to the people of southeastern Nigeria.
Yeah, to drive the economy.
Out of that missing 20 billion, 7 billion would have given you your second Onitsha bridge.
Yeah. This will surprise you.
Yeah.
The old footballing world is heading out to Brazil.
Yes.
And they've got like 5 new stadiums.
Yes.
And they've got other infrastructure, roads, in transport.
Yes.
All of that is coming in at a cost of $5.75 billion.
Okay.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
The Brazilians are constantly, both online and on the streets, in the face of the Brazilian government, saying to them, this is too expensive for us.
So the Brazilians are spending, let's say,
$5.75 billion.
Let's say 6 billion naira on the World Cup. $6 billion on the World Cup. And the people are still saying, this is expensive.
Yeah.
Brazilians are going to host the world. But in your country and my country, 20 billion naira is missing. Yeah. You know? $20 billion, sorry, is missing. And
this next one,
yes,
I know a lot of Nigerians are very familiar with.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
Nigerians have been trooping out to Dubai for holidays and shopping and stuff. So a lot of them will come with their pictures from the world's tallest building, as at that time.
Yes.
It's called the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
And that came in at $1.5 billion.
Okay, now, Nigerians, let me put this in perspective. The tallest building in Nigeria is the Nitel building, what did they used to call it? Nitel building in Lagos. In fact, it's occupied by rats and ants and cockroaches. So, with how many billion?
$1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion, we would have had the Dubai, the tallest building, but it's gone missing. Jesse, I've got a caller on the line. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Hello, my name is Amma.
Okay, Amma, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
How do you feel hearing all these statistics?
Yes, as you see, I'm not going to support what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I think that people are picking on what you are.
Okay.
And I'm saying that people should leave her alone.
Okay.
She did indicate from the beginning that about $10.something billion.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not something that she talked about now. For you to say that she suddenly came out to say that a certain amount of money was missing. If you go and read the papers,
okay,
it indicates right from the time that amount of money was missing.
Okay.
You understand? And I just feel that we are being too critical.
Okay.
We are being too critical. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, Amma, before you go, let me even by your own argument agree that it's $10 billion. Is that not too, okay, 4.9 million pounds, gave us Terminal 5 in the UK. Is $10 billion not an incredible amount for us to be critical about?
There's no doubt that it is, but it hasn't been established that the money was actually missing. It's just people said that they can't find it in the record.
Okay.
There's a discrepancy in the record.
Okay.
So why are we complaining on it? This is not the first time that
money has gone missing. Okay. Okay.
If you're going to deal with this amount,
then
you have to track each program, your other program. You mentioned other amounts that.
Okay. Amma, you've got an argument. Let me say it clearly. I have gone to prison several times, asking Babangida as a student to account for 1.3 billion. I have gone to prison under Obasanjo, asking him to account for stolen billions. Now, why should the case of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and Goodluck Jonathan be different?
No, what I'm saying is that he hasn't even discussed that money in. Why should it be Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala who should take the punishment?
Okay.
Why are you thinking out
Okay, you've got a point, so that we can have other callers in now. Thanks so much. Thanks for calling, Jesse. The argument is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala should not be blamed. She's just the coordinating minister of finance. So just leave her aside.
I don't know what she's on about, to be honest. This is exactly the problem that we have in Nigeria, and we must be honest with ourselves. Why is she saying leave Okonjo-Iweala alone? It's because she comes from the particular area in Nigeria that she comes from.
But we can't just...
So on that basis, we're not... She needs to tell us if she knows any better than the CBN governor. And even Okonjo-Iweala herself said that financial forensic analysis has to be carried out, admitting that money has been stolen. That is stealing in plain language. And I want to draw our attention back. If we are focusing on Okonjo, she fought for titles. She gave OBJ, she gave GEJ an ultimatum. She said, I'm going to be the controlling minister so that I can oversee everything in a proper way. And she's got that title.
We actually call her the prime minister.
Okay, the problem that some of us have got with Okonjo is when she came in OBJ's time, she advised Nigeria to pay off the debt with raw cash we have sitting there in the bank account. And we said, why are we doing this? This is very wrong. We paid back around 30 billion US dollars. Just that money, take it out. And I want to tell her that the rail system, I worked on the project as a consultant. I worked with Leo Bonnet in Nigeria then. The total amount of money that was spent on the rail from Kano all the way to Lagos was $8 billion US dollars.
Okay, because we've got, hold on.
I want to tell them, why are we spending, why do we pay 30 billion to those guys when we could have built a rail infrastructure that will pay back that debt in real time?
Okay, we've got another caller on the line. Before you call in, I would just want to advise you to please reduce the volume of your TV set because we want to have a clear cut today. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Kyle. Chooks calling from London.
All right, go ahead, Chooks.
Yeah, Kyle, first of all, let me start from the northern problems.
Okay.
May the source of the people that carry a rape in peace.
Amen.
Kyle, President Goodluck Jonathan is not the problem in the north.
Okay.
I repeat, President Goodluck Jonathan is never the problem to the people of local Nigeria. Because Nigeria keeps sacrificing every quarter to the north to make peace.
Okay, now, we've made that point. Now, on the 20 billion missing money in Nigeria.
Now, the missing money in Nigeria. Can you remember that Sanusi is not qualified to be in that position?
Okay.
Can you remember that Sanusi was summoned by Senate in 2011?
Yeah.
He said Sanusi was summoned in 2012 to give account. If you go back to the social media, you will see the total number of people Sanusi used to keep his guard.
Okay.
Sanusi donated 100 million to Buhari's campaign in 2011.
Okay, now.
Sanusi wanted to print 5,000 notes.
Okay.
Sanusi took 5 billion projects.
Okay. Chooks, let me take it with your own word. Let us agree. For argument's sake. Chooks, I'll let you. No, I'm not. I want to support. I want to support you if you give me a chance.
APC has been bought by APC.
Okay.
The media and the journalists should make the tribalistic or sentimental. I wish to respect you, but these days you are not sentimental.
Okay, thanks. Chooks, I don't want you to go now. Let me agree with you and take your argument. Let us agree that Sanusi is a thief. From your argument, does that take away?
Because he killed an informant in 1992.
Okay.
In the jail.
Okay, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to cut you off. But I want you to listen to me because because it is a program where we give people a voice. Now, let us now agree from your point of argument. Does it take away the fact that we should look for the 10 billion or 20 billion naira that is missing in our country?
We should look for the money if there is any money missing.
Okay, all right, Chooks, thanks for calling. You've made your point. Now, Chooks has a valid point there. Sanusi is not a saint. The president has argued that Sanusi should also account for money budgeted for that he says reckless spending.
You know, when I had this kind of argument, you know, I tend to just laugh it off because a lot of people don't understand elementary government. Okay. When we were in secondary school, and thank God I schooled in Nigeria, and we have brilliant teachers in Nigeria, what they tell you is that you have three arms of government. You have the executive, you have the judicial, and then you have the legislature. And now what the arm that polices the state, that regulates law and order, is the executive arm. And we've got Jonathan at the top of the food chain in that area. So if Sanusi is culpable and have done something that is hurting the Nigerian economy, it is his job. Sanusi has not got immunity like he has. It is his job
to take him to court,
and to get him prosecuted.
Absolutely.
Failure to do that under the law, without any ethnic rose-tinted glass, Jonathan should be sued and taken down for treason. Okay, now, I've not finished. If you say Sanusi is not qualified, what makes someone qualified for a public, office? If is it having a PhD or working in World Bank? That is not working. We have Kalu Idika Kalu. We have a succession of people who came from World Bank, who came from the Bretton Woods institutions. And Nigeria is still on his face, flat on his face. So you are not telling me PhD is working. It's not working for me because nobody puts GDP on the plate and eat it. Now, if we go by his analysis, Awolowo would never have done everything he did because he hasn't even got a master's degree. He only had a degree. And most of the guys you find in government, in Europe, in Japan, even in the US, have only got their first degrees.
I really
so what else do you want from the guy?
I really want to make this point before I take the next caller. Is it not worrying that in our country, every problem is always looked from the tribal perspective? If the argument has always been, the Hausa stole, why are you disturbing the Igbos from stealing? Why are you disturbing the Yorubas from stealing? Is it not worrying? And
that's why people who call in and say things from ethnic angle, you can always defeat their argument easily. And it all goes back to what a lot of us have been saying. The political structure of Nigeria allows for all of this to happen. If we are a federal republic of Nigeria, and we're supposed to be practicing federalism. But in reality, it's a unitary government. So why have we been saying to people, we need to go back and go back to federalism so that we don't have all of the, you control your assets and then you don't blame me for it. And that is what is killing Nigeria at the moment.
I've got a call on the line. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you calling from and what's your name, please?
My name is Oluwadari.
Okay, go ahead, Oluwadari.
My name is Oluwadari. Calling from Scotland, Abati.
All right, go ahead, please.
I've listened to many of your editions before. And I quite appreciate the way you are trying to get Nigerians to participate in the national issues. However, we should be a bit responsible the way we comment on things. Your guest just now is talking about missing billions and all that. He's talking about tribalism. He's talking about which country, which part of that comes from. The politics in Nigeria is quite very difficult, and it's a difficult terrain. You can't compare that politics or terrain in Nigeria to any of the developed world. So judging by that, a lot of people can tell you billions are missing, billions are missing. Have we actually find out from a very good source, or confirm that this money is actually missing?
Okay, I'm sure you missed. I'm sure you.
We need to understand
how the politics in
work. Okay, because we want other callers to come in.
Okay.
To
understand exactly how Nigerian politics works.
Okay, thanks.
So
we've got more callers. We want to take more callers in. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has confirmed that 10 billion is missing. So that is by the way. I've got Nwosa from Holland saying, I don't know why we are bothered about Nigeria. It's just a sick country. The sickness is incurable. That's Nwosa J from Holland. And then I've got another caller on the line. If I can connect you, I'll say good evening. Good evening. Okay, where are you calling from and what's your name, please?
Well, my name is Tony.
All right, go ahead, please.
Yes, I mean, as much as we might want to criticize the government of Nigeria or the people involved in governing, I would like us to be precise in what we are talking about. Our presidency or the government not be kind of ridicule as is happening. Nigeria is for everyone, including yourself and those who are speaking with you. It's quite simple for us to be on air and be ridiculing the presidency. I can understand the fact that people are angry about the situation in Nigeria. Everybody is. But we have to find a way of coordinating our thoughts and response to issues.
Okay, can you suggest the ways in which we can coordinate our response to issues in Nigeria?
Well, it's not, first of all, it's not by really turning out there.
No, I've just asked you to make a suggestion, please.
We have ways of addressing issues. If you want to talk about the issue, so somebody stole money or the money is missing, let's get it fast, right? If money is missing fast, we will talk about it and we will show the evidence. If it's not missing yet and people are making that, it's not really, when you go to work, we work here in this country. We live in this group. We go to work and people make it really good.
I respect your point. I wanted for you to suggest how we should coordinate, but you've not made that suggestion. I'll see if Jesse can help us with that. How do we should stop getting angry?
Like I said, it's actually funny to me. He lives in this country, I live in this country. And we watch what goes on in the House of Parliament. And several times I've seen the Prime Minister being called names. In fact, I've seen a 16-year-old took tea in a cup and splashed in the face of a minister for not working or delivering. Okay, now the royalty. Do you remember that in Wales, I think somewhere in Wales or Portsmouth, I can't quite remember now, we've got this flooding problem.
Hello? Hold on, please.
We've got the flooding problem, and then one of the ministers went there and didn't dress like he should dress. It was actually ridiculed. Now, these are non-life-threatening situations. In Nigeria, we are talking about life-threatening situations. And here we are talking about the president. People are dying. How many lives has he got?
I'm not surprised. Hello, good evening. Could you please just tune the volume of your TV set or just take it off completely so we can hear you?
Oh, me?
Yes, please.
Okay, am I talking to Oguna?
Yes, just make your contribution, please. Go ahead.
Okay, my contribution is that Nigeria will continue to pray, but I don't think God is hearing the prayer. Sanusi has been one of the best central bank governors we ever had since independence. I know whom we had in 1960, I know who we had in 5 years later or 10 years later. He's still the best central bank governor. This problem between him and Jonathan is going to railroad Jonathan because he's going to bring out all the corruption in Jonathan's administration.
Before you go, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from my Montreal, New Jersey. From America.
In America, okay.
I'm watching the program.
Okay, thanks so much for calling.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
We also have another caller because it seems the calls are going. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Belgium.
All right, go ahead and make your contribution.
Okay, my contribution is about Boko Haram issue, not about money. People are talking about money, but first of all, we have to think about security for Nigeria.
All right, then.
So what Mr. President is doing about security, about people in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yeah. Okay, so okay. That's one issue. I'll let Jesse. Jesse, go ahead. What are you doing about?
People need to realize that when money is missing, it's a security issue. Why is Boko Haram fighting? For years, we have had situations where kids couldn't go to school because people were stealing public money to go to school. As at the time that universal basic education was implemented in Western Nigeria, there was enough money in the public till to do the same in the northern part of Nigeria and in the eastern part of Nigeria. Now, because that was not done over time, we created an army. I served in Gombe after my university system. I went up to Gombe. And it was my first experience to this problem of almajiris. And you got thousands of kids who have never been to school, no education whatsoever. Now, I saw them every time politics was around. They were being used to intimidate people, to go for votes, to stand there and vote for candidates. They don't know who they are voting for. They just know who butters your bread. That's who they vote for. And now, that is the pool of people that Boko Haram has tapped into, whoever is coming up with Boko Haram. And if these guys have basic education, they have food in their belly, it will be difficult for people to say, kill the system that is giving you such comforts. So you must know that the money that is missing is directly related to the insecurity that we are experiencing in Nigeria.
Okay, I've got a text message that I'm going to read now. It's from Abe. Abe says, GEJ government is the most fraudulent ever. I am so angry at how Nigerians are talking about not insulting GEJ. I've also got a caller on the line. If we still have you, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Manchester. Good evening.
All right, make your contribution, please.
Yeah, my name is Sanjay.
Okay.
All I want to say is that Nigerians have a fundamental problem. I've seen you many times on this program.
Yeah.
Just like every other Nigerian who has contributed so much one way or the other.
Yeah.
The fundamental problem Nigerians have, if not resolved, we will continue to discuss this issue till kingdom come.
Okay.
Every house that is built on lies and that the foundations are wrong are bound to crumble. But it amazes me that all the leaders we have in Nigeria pretend as if everything is all right. Yeah. Today we are celebrating 100 years. 100 years of what? Just like my friend, your guest said, $20 billion is no small money. We in the diaspora, we know what $20 billion can put in Nigeria, can contribute to Nigeria.
Yeah.
This is very sad. And our leaders continue to pretend as if nothing happened. I will advise Nigeria to go to whether he has a good intention or not, let us go to the country.
Okay.
Every individual citizen will go there to negotiate how we can live together.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for making that contribution. Jesse, sometimes we all get passionate about Nigeria, but something just does not fit in. The fact that we've got this huge tolerance for corruption, how would you describe that tolerance?
I think the last caller hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
There's no country in Europe, when Germany lost the First World War, all of the European countries who fought the war sat down together and said, look, going forward, this is how we're going to relate with each other. It was not working, so it led to the Second World War. Then after the Second World War, they learned from what had gone on in the First World War. And that was why you had the Marshall Plan to say, look, Germany has lost, but we don't want to create a society that created Hitler. So they put some funds into Europe to help it get back on its feet economically. Now, the problem with Nigeria is I don't know what we're celebrating 100 years for. Because after these guys who put us together left, we never at any point in time sat down to say, this is how we want to relate with each other. Now, I respect all tribes. For any tribe to be alive and well and kicking in the 21st century, it means you are doing something right. So what we are saying is, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas, the TVs, the Jukuns, all kind of tribes needs to come onto a table and sit down and say, look, we've got something good. Let's bring it to the table, and this is how we work forward.
Okay, I've got another caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, it's been a hot program tonight, so we just wanted to make your contribution to.
I just want to make a contribution.
Go ahead, please.
I mean, my contribution. My name is Johnson. Yeah, I'm phoning from London.
All right, go ahead, Johnson.
I'm just looking at most of these things, especially, let's look at the money missing. The money missing aspect, I was just trying to follow it up. One is that we are not very sure of that 20 billion missing. And again, what the minister said, I think that is a very good way of looking at things. Because no minister, even in this Europe, can definitely say money is missing without an audit. An audit is the best way to find out whether money is missing. Again, if you look at what the central bank governor has said, I think he made things very difficult for us to articulate. One is that he was saying this figure and that figure. That makes it not a very good case for him.
All right, thanks. I would have to let another caller come in here. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Iceland.
From Iceland. Okay, it's good to have you on the program. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I've been watching your program from time to time, and I think the problem with us in Nigeria is that our politicians, they always try to play politics by using tribes and saying all kinds of things instead of them saying the right thing by coming together and finding solutions, like all this Boko Haram and 20 billion missing. And they all try to claim innocence by saying one or two things.
Okay.
And for example, our president, I don't know what he's doing by saying that I watched his interview with CNN, and I can't understand his plan by this Boko Haram issue.
Sorry, I'd have to. Thanks so much for calling from Iceland. I want to take another caller now. Hello, good evening. Before we go back to Jesse. Hello, good evening. I think we've lost him. Jesse.
I think what people need to understand here is it's not the numbers. It is the fact that the Nigerian economy that derives 98% of its income from the crude oil that is sold abroad, has no clear pattern of how much crude oil we have, how much is sold, and how the money comes into the government purse. And that means that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is being violated. And for people who said they don't know what the figures are. Now, when Sanusi came up with his allegations, NNPC submitted their own report. And there's a body called MPDC. You know, we had joint venture companies and all of that.
Sorry, Jesse, I'll have to cut you short there. Just 1 minute. Hello, good evening, because I know it's a distance caller. Good evening. Okay, we lost that call from Italy there. We really do apologize because, Jesse, go ahead.
Okay. Now, the MPDC managing director went before the Nigerian Senate to say, because NNPC said they paid $6 billion into MPDC coffers.
Yes.
And MPDC MD went before the Nigerian Senate.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what it means to go before the Congress or to go before the Parliament without facts and figures to say, to deny that they received any money? Then after they left, the inquiry.
Yes.
They went back and issued a statement to say, in fact, we therefore want to restate that NNPC funds NPDC adequately for the effective conduct of his operation. Mumbo jumbo, basically. And nobody really knows what goes in and what comes out. Now, if you have a business, and since 2005, there's no audited report of that business, and you came to us on fuel subsidy. Now, on what figures and basis are you coming to us on subsidy? If we don't know how much you're taking in, this is not your money. This is not Okonjo's money. This is the money of everyone that carries the Nigerian passport or carries the Nigerian blood. That is what people need to realize if we have to have a change society. Now, I want to know why there's no audit of money that is spent. In fact, in this country, I run a business, and the easiest way to go to jail is not to report how much you earn, how much you pay as tax, and how much your expenses are. I mean, if that is done for a small business, how much more a country? Why just before the Committee of Nations?
With me, I've always said it, Nigerians, we need to actually, if we're going to move forward for our children's sake, I mean, some of us are like, we're lucky to get to this age, but for those young children, how can we tolerate corruption to the point where it's a matter of, it's somebody from my tribe, so why are you making noise? Why not somebody from your tribe? We need to get grip of what is on now. Let's take the last caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Can you turn off the volume of your TV set and make your point, please?
All right. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Kayode.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to thank you for this discussion so far.
Thank you.
But there are some basic necessities we need to put in place.
All right.
Yeah, you see, our country, Nigeria, is indeed a large one.
Yeah.
And when we are comparing it with other European countries, we should also look at the size of those nations.
Okay.
My candid advice is what the consultant has discussed earlier concerning coming to a round table and have a concrete arrangement on how we move forward. I think it is paramount.
Okay.
It is paramount. And that's why I welcome the idea of the national conference.
Yeah.
And in addition to this, outside the ranking over missing money or not missing money, I want us to also critically look at the issue of the National Assembly that cut away so much from the entire system. And I want to have a more developed country that take parliamentary issue on a part-time basis.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
Okay, thanks so much for your call. We really appreciate everyone that has called in today. We missed quite a number of calls from the U.S. We just want to say this is your program, and we're here for you. Everyone has got a voice. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. Jesse, where do we go from here?
We've looked at the different political structures in the world.
Yeah.
I don't believe in this number of we are so big that we're unwieldy. Now, you look at China, for instance, well, they have 1.2 billion people. India, they have 1.2 billion people. And India, the gods that they serve, they said they over 1,000 gods. But yet, at the national level, they're able to say, look, this is a level of corruption that we can tolerate. Now, Okonjo-Iweala, who's a supervising minister went before the Nigerian Senate, and they asked her, there's a secret JP Morgan account that you're keeping, and that is breaking the constitution
of the country,
the very fabric that holds the country together. You are breaching the constitution of Nigeria. You know what she told them? Flippantly, she said, oh, I have heard about it, but I have not confirmed it.
And this is a minister.
This is a minister, a supervising minister.
A super minister.
In fact, if she did that in World Bank, she would have been sacked a long time ago. So what I'm trying to say is we must realize that the Boko Haram problem is as a result of corruption that had gone on. All the problems. So we need to get back to the table to say this is how we want to run Nigeria.
Let me give someone a voice quickly. Where are you calling from? And make your contribution, please. Hello, can you hear us? Okay, we missed that call. Jesse, there's also the issue of what do we do as a people to support the... I've said it personally that I think the president does not have a clue, and this is not an insult. He seems to be cocooned in this make-believe world that everything is all right in Nigeria. What can we do as citizens to wake him up from this slumber?
The first thing is to get people reading.
Okay.
What I would say first and foremost, we need to, it's not the kind of conference that he wants to organize. When we do want to organize our conference, we need to stop everything because we're in a crisis situation. And we need to go to the table. All of the federating units have to sit down and say, from now forward, because what we have basically, if Okonjo can wake up and defy the constitution without problem, the president is running the constitution down without any problem. So what stops you and I to, what is making us believe in that? So it's just a piece of paper. Now, we need something that is an article of faith, like the Constitution of the United States or the Constitution of the UK. So that is where we need to start from. Secondly, is we need to get people involved and educated about the political process, to know who they vote into power.
I've got, I'll just quickly, before we end the show, I've got from Iceland, corruption has eaten deep into the fabric of Nigeria. There's nothing we can do about it. That's Ushe from Iceland. That's your text messages are coming in it's unbelievable. Shuka says, it is the usual